Hey, bub, this is Wolverine. You're watching Pro Teaches Noobs. This is OG Vegeta. Let's get the views to over 9,000! This is Ryuk. Watch, like, and subscribe, or die.
Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teaches Noob. Today I have with me, first time in quite a while, Raymond.
I have come on to join you for another hunt.
Yes, of course. You are in such a predator mood because we have both Badlands and what's the show called? The anthology movie called?
It's called Killer of Killers.
Yeah, that. Yep, I can. And seriously, it is just. We're eating good as AVP fans, aren't we?
AVP fans eating fucking good. Now, as far as AVP is concerned, as the director of Alien Romulus has said, and I think the Dan Trachtenberg of the Predator franchise has concurred, we're not going to see AVP. It's there, but we're not going to see it the way that it's like obvious. It's going to be very organic and subtle, like Wayland being in the new Predator movie Badlands.
Right, that still surprises me.
I mean, it was all over the place. It was in
I know.
Elle Fanning's eyes.
I know. I mean, the fact they went there. I'm saying the fact they went there.
I mean, I think Disney finally got their heads out of their asses and realized after Prey that they have two valuable IPs on their hands.
Yeah,
3 if you count the 8, because the AVP is oddly enough separate from Alien and Predator.
Right, very true.
Even though it encompasses the two of them.
Right. But but still though. But and hey, these Predator crossovers and the Alien versus Avengers, which I want to have you and Ingrid both on to cover that one.
Is Ingrid also a fan?
Oh, she became a fan with me, and she really liked the ideas introduced in Prometheus and Covenant.
Really? Those two movies pissed me off the most.
Oh yeah, but the ideas, like I said, the ideas, maybe not the execution. And oh Lord, you want to know the movie that really got us angry?
The Predator?
But I mean, and the Alien ones and AVP ones.
3?
Requiem.
AVP. Oh, wait. You could see you could actually see it? Did you get a good copy of it?
No, but even then, no, we still hated it. It was so. That was one of the movies that left us in a bad mood. We were.
Oddly enough, or coincidentally enough, I actually just got finished watching that just now, actually, before coming online, because I've been binge watching every Predator movie.
That got
incidentally
bitter.
Yeah, incidentally, that was the last movie that had predators in them that I watched, because I watched all the Predator films first, and then I watched the AVP movies, even though chronologically they should take place between AVP 1 and 2 should take place between Predator 2 and Predators.
Right. But still, though, like I said, that left us like we gave it like a middle finger salute and everything. We were that angry at it.
I'm fine with it to a point. I don't think the infanticide helped anything.
No, it did not. And we just felt like there was no real good character. The only one that was good was Wolf.
And he was barely a character.
Yeah, but that was the only actual character we actually had any interest in. Everyone else, it just felt like slasher movie fodder.
Pretty much.
Which is that's probably the only that and Alien Resurrection. Although Resurrection still has some decent characterization, but
have you had her watch The Predator yet? Shane Black's one.
We watched that. Remember, you saw a review of it.
You
were there for the premiere.
Movie, I mean, maybe it's because I'm so emotionally close to Predators, more so than Aliens, that movie destroyed my soul more than any other Alien film could.
How do you think she and I felt because we're both autistic?
That's true. Weaponizing autism was just like,
It's
really,
the next
guys?
stage of evolution, and they couldn't even handle it right. They had the kid basically like the hypersensitivity of your senses is a buildup. It's not a it's not instant. It's a buildup.
I know. I used to work around autistic children.
Yeah, there was just
And
so much. Like there was like one or two
well,
moments that were like,
well, actually, depending on the severity of the autism, it could be very quick.
but not for
But
someone who's supposed to be higher functioning like that kid was.
yeah, that child was super high functioning. The ones that were like where they did the ear thing very
Yeah.
quickly, they were the ones who were barely functional.
Exactly. Now, there were some moments where the kid kind of fit with it, like the whole him getting easily distracted. That was fine because we've been there. But it's like you're not going to just figure out alien tech just by looking at it. That's not autism.
No, it doesn't make you. I mean, some of the autistic kids that I was when I used to work as an instructional assistant for special needs children, some of the autistic kids were savants. There was
Right.
a blind boy who was
Yep.
autistic, and he could memorize every single song he ever heard by just hearing it once, and then recreate it on his keyboard.
That I can believe, but again, it's one thing. That's one thing. It's a complete another to just figure out some alien tech just by looking.
Oh yeah, that was fucking stupid. I mean, I will admit, because I counted on I was actually counting this because I remembered how much I hated it. I actually counted on I can count on one hand how many times the movie made me chuckle, and I mean a legitimate chuckle where it made a joke that was funny, where I enjoyed it.
How many?
3. They made 3 jokes. 3 jokes. They made 3 fucking jokes that I chuckled at.
The only other thing that she and I like were the dogs.
I hate them with a passion.
Well, I'm just saying we just had a good chuckle out of it, I should more say.
Oh, you had a chuckle. Okay. I
think they were bad, but we're just like, it was the only thing we're like, oh, okay.
It's just that when you in the movie
like the one getting
lobotomized. I know, but we had dogs in Predators, the 3rd film.
Yep. Those were good.
They were cool. The Predator, Shane Black's movie, and no fucking hate to Shane Black or anyone who worked on that film. I'm sure they put their all into it, but a piece of shit's still a piece of shit. The dogs were a downgrade from the last movie.
Yeah. But okay, enough about the movies. Let's get to this. Predator versus Black Panther. Now, this is obviously a follow-up to the Wolverine one, which you actually did get some enjoyment, but not the highest endorsement.
I would say it was enjoyable for what it was. The problem being is that it's Wolverine, and there's no fucking way it's a fair fight for the Predator. The Predator is is physically stronger than Wolverine could ever be. No two ways about it.
Healing and adamantium? No way.
Yeah, he has an adamantium skeleton. No matter how strong the metal is that the Predator has, he can't kill him.
And you agree? You also felt, because I rewatched the video recently, that up until the last issue, the Predator was handled fine until they got to seeing Xavier, and he was ready to shoot a cripple. You're like, what?
Oh God, I blocked that out.
Yeah, it's like, what? He's ready, and because he doesn't know. He doesn't know they're mutants.
I blocked that out. Holy shit.
Yeah, that last issue felt like Benjamin Percy was trying to hit all of the beats, but once he got closer to modern day, it became a pain, like it was hard.
Yeah. I hear that I see that they also just started
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man versus Predator.
And Kraven is showing up.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm actually you know me, I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I'm far from a Spider-Man
fan.
Not just because of Rivals.
Right.
Before that. But before that,
Rival really can make anyone hate Spidey.
Pretty much. Except for Tevye. God bless him.
Right.
But I am interested in that because Spider-Man, unlike Wolverine, is not functionally immortal,
But he has the
and
spider sense.
he has the spider sense, and he's physically strong, probably on par with the Predator. I don't know if he's stronger than a Predator. I know
Depends on
I
the
know
writer.
it depends on the writer. The MCU made him absurdly strong,
Right.
but and like in the comic books, he was always just very strong.
Right.
And I think it's a better fight with the Predator. And then you
And,
have Craven mixed into
yeah.
it. That sounds like a good fucking time, dude.
And it's like, it's the most obvious. You can't do this without Craven, the ultimate hunter.
Ultimate
Human
hunter.
Yes. But still, Black Panther. This one is an interesting one because we're gonna get more insights into the Predator involved here. I mean, the last one we barely got any insight. This one, they're more the main character.
The Predator?
Yeah.
Interesting. So answer me one question here before we start this.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Panther suit, is it made out of vibranium?
Yes.
How the fuck?
But they're aware of what vibranium is.
Okay, they're aware of it. So he has countermeasures.
Something like that. Let's just get into this and find out because there's an interesting lore behind it. Now, I told you this once before. There's going to be a Predator that's called King, but he's not the King Predator. Clearly not. He can't be.
No, the King Predator is on Yacha Prime, and most Predators don't even know he exists.
Right, but here we go. The Wolf Star System. The planet was one of those rare treasures of the galaxy, host to an atmosphere, and abundant life. Two rival clans have been given an opportunity to claim it as their own exclusive hunting ground. Each was led by a brother who hoped to make their father proud. This king had never considered his sons equal. One had the strength of an entire hunting party. The other was born small and missing a leg. It was he who had demanded the opportunity to claim the hunting grounds for himself. The king had a weapon that never parted his side, a spear that was also a prize hunting trophy. It absorbed and expelled kinetic energy. In other words, made of vibranium. Because remember, vibranium came from space.
Right, so it's logical that they would have it.
Yeah, the father's favor had always been implied. But in this case, with the loan of the spear, he made his position entirely clear. The one-legged son had demanded this hunt, a hunt that would result in the death of one brother or the other. Honor was at stake. So in other words, he gave the spear to the preferred son.
Right.
And perhaps the future of the throne. So what do you see on this starting point already? That does this make sense for there to be two brothers, one who would be preferred over the other?
Yes.
I mean, I figured it would. Especially again, because look at the difference here. This one is smaller.
The only thing that I'm having an issue with here is that they are giving any time of day to the one-legged one. Not because he's small, but because he has a prosthetic leg.
True.
They do not. They look down on shit like that.
Even if he was born that way.
Yeah, they look down on shit like that. They would have killed him.
Oh, so
no, they would have gone full 300 Spartan and just killed him outright.
So are they playing a bit loose here?
A bit loose so far, yeah.
Yep.
The rivalry and the runt. It's fine that he's a runt, but and the rivalry's fine. It's just the one-legged thing.
A little too far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The blood sport lasted through many rotations of the sun. At first, they picked each other off by hunting with stealth, but in the end, the older brothers clan won because of the rare special power of the spear. The damn spear! Chung! His father collected it during one of the greatest hunts of his life that happened many years ago when he staged a month-long hunt on Earth. He brought home many skills and many trophies, but the spear. So they did actually go to Earth and get it.
Okay, so he was hunting. Assumably another Black Panther.
Yeah, probably contained powers like no other in their arsenal. It was made of something the Yaushta called God metal, and the people of Earth called vibranium. I could see them call it God metal. Given how powerful,
Considering that its ability to absorb and expel kinetic energy, yeah.
that makes sense. While it is the true that the younger brother had asked for this blood hunt, he had felt it was his only choice, because to live in his brother's shadow and his father's disdain was to live in dishonor. This had been his chance to prove himself as stronger and worthier, despite his disadvantages. In his failure, he could have claimed honor to his name and clan if he had died in battle. But his brother chose instead to humiliate him, stripping him of his weapons, tying him to a totem, abandoning him in disgust. He, a true Yashta, would not allow himself to die in such a state. Boy, that brother's a dick then, isn't he?
Although accurate to
Yeah, to the Lord.
accurate to lore, and how I am already seeing similarities between this and the new movie coming out, Badlands.
Yeah, he is a true Yaushta, understood that strength comes in many forms. His brother had always had the advantage of size and mobility, so he had no choice but to be smarter. He had integrated tech into his body to make himself more formidable. Subcutaneous wristbands were one advantage of many. So in other words, he pulled a Wolverine but put it in his arm.
They look down on shit like that.
Yeah, so I think this is a case of the father. Sorry, this sounds like a case of the father trying to do it, probably covered for him. Or it was kept privately to this world and nowhere else.
I have no clue. It's just that our main Yautja, assumingly our main Yautja, the younger brother.
Yep, he's the main one we're gonna follow.
Cybernetic improvements are like, I'm not joking when I tell you how looked down upon in their society that is. Like, Shane Black's the Predator. I know we're bringing it back to the fucking movie.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
I know the whole stupid improvement stuff.
Yes, those guys would have been and would have, and at least according to the comics, all the Dark Horse and even now the Marvel comics would have considered the upgrade Predator and all the self-improvement Predators as bad bloods. It is dishonorable to improve yourselves like that. It's fine to have like better weapons and get better techniques, but you can't like improve yourselves. The whole reason why they hate genetic improvement, cybernetics and shit like that is because when they were enslaved by the Amengi, which is based off of the original Predator suit that Jean-Claude Van Damme wore.
Right.
They had enslaved them and genetically enhanced them until one day an alpha predator, you can look up pictures of him.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. We've talked about this in a
he led a bloody revolution. And they look down on they look down on those types of things as by nature.
You're right. So in other words, in other words, then sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just reminds them of the Amengi, and that's why they hate that shit.
But now we're back. We're now on Wakanda. Today's maneuvers come with a prize and a cost. The loser will take over the winner's place and palace duties for a month. Whoever tags the Black Panther first wins. But anyone who is tagged by our king will be removed from the field and returned to the ship. And one man, even him, is no match for a hot and Zaraz. Mind your tongue, soldier. The Dora and Melage know that this is not one man. The Panther is the living manifestation of the will and determination of every Wakandian. If you believe he could fail, then you believe the same of our kingdom. Don't listen to an Okoye. One of us is going to enjoy a month without perimeter duty. What is it, General? Proof that I was right. The Panther is on the hunt. Oh, look at that artwork.
That is beautiful.
Yep. I'll give you credit for this. You've lasted longer than the war dogs. Okoye, my finest commander and old friend, do you need a cup of coffee before we get started? You seem tired. says the man who needs a vibranium suit of armor to best me. Oh, but I hear that the Black Panther is more than a man. You heard what? And heard that? I was lying then. Don't worry, old friend. I won't tell anyone. I mean, except for the governing council. And of course, my armor, it's been hacked. And Shuri, make your move, okay? My brother deserves to be humbled. Okay, I do like how this is clearly setting things up for later. Right?
Yeah, so they're setting up the idea that she has control over his suit.
Yeah. He should know how it feels to be naked of armor. Maybe then he'd be more open to sharing Wakanda's resources with the world. Day after day, you're bothering me about this. It's annoying and embarrassing. And like I've said it so many times before, as did our father, and did his father. To share our resources with the world is a good and hearted impulse, but will make ourselves vulnerable, a target. And what good is strength if you only use it for yourself? How can we stand by when so many suffer? We cannot risk it. I will admit you are smarter than me, sister, but it does not mean you are wiser. Let me show you something outside of all of your royal posturing. Please, T'Challa? Outside of the foothills of Wakanda's capital, Zana. Where are we going? If you can keep up and avoid the quicksand, I will show you. How much farther? What's the matter? All that time sitting on the throne make your legs soft? We all know that I'm not just the smarter, but also the stronger child. Slow down, Shuri. Everything for you is too fast and burp. Up. When you move fast, you are more likely to stumble. I would have been fine, but you're a good brother, even if you're wrong-headed. Best be praised. What is this place? Not bad, eh? It is beautiful. It is. But it is more than that. It is a holy place where many currents flow together. And Majikina is a seer from the river tribe, and he brings the news of the water. Ooh, interesting location.
Hello.
Yep. The younger Yoshida couldn't stop thinking about the vibranium spear. The air had shaken when it released its energy. His only marrow and guts felt bruised. He imagined a helmet made of the same material. Body armored, a wrist and gauntlet, a leg. He could build himself into the ultimate predator. When the Yoshida put on their helmets, their visual intelligence is heightened. He found this reassuring. You know what is really something? I could so believe that his father, the king, kept him around and allowed him to do all this purely to give the older brother a worthy opponent to prove himself. Can I bet you it's so clear the father was going to kill this boy regardless.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, actually.
Could you believe that? That this probably like, but this younger Yoshida has no clue, obviously.
Yeah.
The body was not enough. Because either way, he's dead either way after all this. He was dead the moment he was born.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said.
He was just living on borrowed time.
Yep. He could become their superior, so long as he concentrated on evolving as a weapon. You also realize he's kind of like Shuri to a degree. The more tech-based.
Yeah. There is a bit of a mirroring here going on.
Yeah. While it was true that he and what remained of his clan had been deeply humiliated, there was still a chance to show his worth. They had been unfairly disadvantaged. Their loss was not an honest one. As soon as he understood his father was maneuvering against him, he had arranged for a backup plan. He had hidden a ship below a lake. They would try. Now, where does that stand? Having presetting something ahead of time because you figured someone would do a low blow. Would that be allowed?
Allowed? I mean, clearly it's not allowed, but would they do it? Depends on the predator. I mean, a bad blood would do it in a heartbeat, no two ways about it. An honorable predator would have went to the father to challenge him man to man.
True, but here it's clearly, again, this is unique circumstances for this predator, obviously.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are new and different here.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in uncharted territories as far as predators are concerned with this. I have no idea how fast and loose the writer is going to be
Benjamin
playing
Percy,
with
same guy who did Wolverine, by the way.
Okay, so we're playing fast and loose again.
But still closer than others.
Yeah, it's clear that there is some care and love into the writing, but it's not. It doesn't overtake the story that he's trying to craft.
Exactly.
So, is this group of predators? Is this still the younger brother?
Yes, this is all we're going to be following throughout this story. Is this group?
This group of predators. So the younger brother has a group of predators following him.
It is the remain of his party, his clan.
Okay.
Remember, they said earlier there were 2 clans. Both brothers had a clan.
Okay, I missed that part. My apologies. I thought they were all part of the same clan.
No, both separate clans with the father ruling over both of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They would hunt down the source of vibranium, and they would kill any who stood in their way. All archived data made it clear that vibranium was not part of the native geological record, so he employed an energy scan. His helmet had collected the kinetic energy of the metal when he was attacked. He sought out similar frequencies. There were blips throughout the world, including in New York and off the coast of Central America. But Africa was the epicenter, the mother lode. And it was here he discovered an energy dome with cloaking technology similar to the Yautja's own. Only this wasn't meant to camouflage a body or a ship. It was meant to hide a nation. The shield was stronger than the Yautja's weapon, but it wasn't smarter than their algorithm. They hacked through the perimeters, the greatest defense system on Earth, like a blade through flesh. Show my brother what you have seen, Maji. All waters connect to other waters, just as blood connects to other blood. Humans are one tribe, and many are suffering. 500 miles to our north, a year-long drought and high winds have created a perfect storm for a raging grassland fire. 1,000 miles to our east, a new virus is making people cough their lungs out. And that is just the beginning, what I see in the water. War, poverty, famine, disease, drought. They need our help. What would you suggest? We send envoys and aids, obviously, but that's a short-term solution. We should be building hospitals, universities, a vibranium power grid, a kinetic railway to connect. Vibranium is not a shareable resource. I am far from heartless. I just need to be careful. I am more than a king. I am a protector. Let us help, but in our own way. We'll arrange several anonymous donations too. No. You act as though by opening the dam, the current will shift and contaminate our good spring. But think of it this way instead. If we help others, then others are likely to help us. Now, I think clearly this is its own canon. In fact, I'm starting to think even the Wolverine one was part of this canon, and that explains why they're building up the Predators killed the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that kind of feel like it's clearly... Otherwise, then again, other writers wash, rinse, repeat this argument a lot.
Yeah.
Which always bothers me. It's like, can't they have a writer who doesn't just repeat the argument?
You know, why don't they help even though they have the absolute power to do so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing like with Batman. Like, why doesn't he kill? Why doesn't he do more?
Yep. Wakanda needs no help. Kaka! T'Challa, what is it? His suit, the Black Panther suit. Vibranium was woven into it. The Yautja imagined it was a trophy he could call his own. He instructed 2 of his party to continue their survey of Wakanda to locate the source of vibranium, but others should join him. They were going hunting. T'Challa? The birds. Something is wrong. Yes, something is wrong. I mean, something is very, very wrong. And we need to get the Elder to safety. We will speak of this later. T'Challa, we're not done talking. Okay? Yes, my king. And I need you to join me for another maneuver. But this time the stakes are real. What is wrong? I am not entirely certain yet, but I believe something might be here. I cannot hear you, my king. Uh-oh. Okay? Are the comms down? Or jammed? Broken net. It was as if you hit a window. Oh, find a dead bird. A full flight, little one. A window in the sky. What has come to my kingdom? Choom! Oh, he got hit!
Straight on with the plasma caster.
But it protected him. The vibranium weave saved him from death. But the force of the impact dulled his brain. He fell into concussed darkness, and the cold mud of the swamp swallowed him up. The Panther had been tagged after all, but not by Dora Milaje or the Hatuts and Zorase, but by these predators.
So, I'm not...
Okay, vibranium, it took the hit, but clearly it still caused a shockwave in his body.
It should have done more than that. Plasma casters don't hit with just kinetic force. They are hotter than the fucking sun.
Oh, dude, even vibranium can absorb heat energy too.
Okay.
They absorb just about any type of energy.
I mean, yeah, because if you look at like the first movie, they outright state that a plasma caster, like as soon as it hits a person and makes a hole in them, the wound is cauterized instantly.
Oh, basically like a lightsaber stabbing you in that regard.
And essentially, yeah, it's plasma. It's heated plasma.
Yep, the Wakandan Design Group. Aren't you worried, Shuri, about what your brother will do? It's what he doesn't do that concerns me. This is the last of it, Princess. And it is you said, Maji. We're all connected. We're stronger together. We're weaker apart. We will open up our doors and share Wakanda's resources. On Control, this is Shuri, approaching the perimeter of the dome, requesting access. Shuri, this is Control. Your ship is approved for exit status and... What was it you were saying, Control? Over? Help! Control, what did you say? The Yost had heard her voice before. And if we help others, then others are likely to help us. The hunting party did not want any outside interference. Locking down the perimeter would serve them in that regard. And in another, something's wrong. I'm turning around. Control to the Shuri. I'm approaching Riyadh. The dome would keep everyone in as well as out. And serve as its own hunting preserve. Dear.
That is a really cool visual. Go back to that, please.
Yeah, look at that. That is
such a sweet fucking visual.
Okay, the Predators versus his guards.
Yes, it's oddly enough a fair fight.
Yeah, because you've seen the movies. You see how well they fight.
They're skilled as fuck, so it's not going to be easy pickings for these Predators, and also they come from a weaker clan.
Yeah.
So it's a fairer fight.
But what do you think about the setup so far from this first issue? And it's only 4 issues.
Okay. It's not without its problems, of course. The writers playing fast and loose with Predator lore to facilitate a certain kind of story.
But it feels like a better start than the Wolverine one, at least. Better odds, too.
Actually, the Wolverine one started great and ended terribly.
True.
This one is starting off on the wrong foot. I'm hoping that it's going to do the opposite and end good.
It should.
Remains to be seen. At this point, this Predator that we're following is not a good or quote unquote good Predator. At this point, he is probably more akin to a Bad Blood.
But not by choice. Can we agree to that? Not by choice, clearly, given his upbringing.
I don't think he thinks himself a Bad Blood because of what he has to do to try to earn his own honor.
Right.
But he is throwing out lots, and I mean lots of tradition to do so.
And it also makes his father and brother cruel, too, though, when you think about it. It makes them cruel that they're pushing him into this. That's one thing I would say.
I mean...
He's a rare sympathetic bad blood. Would you agree? Because they're rarely sympathetic.
I mean, it's a Predator. I don't know how sympathetic you can be with them.
I'm saying by comparison to others, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get a very sympathetic one in the new movie Badlands soon. But the way
this almost feels like a prototype. Like a prototype for what we're getting in Badlands.
Oddly enough, it is. I don't know if you've heard the synopsis that
I have.
Yeah, so that the Predator in Badlands is a younger brother, a runt,
Mm-hmm.
who is trying to prove himself to his father.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Mm-hmm.
sounds at all familiar, it's what we're reading right now.
Exactly. On Wakanda, outside Baron Zana, all comms were down. The last thing Okoye heard from her king was that the Dora Milaje would come to his aid. She did not know what was wrong, but the urgency in his voice scared her. General Okoye, what are we? Shh. She was a great warrior, not only because of her strength, but also her awareness. She knew everything around her, as if her nerves extended into the vines of the jungle. She saw the python curled around a branch. She heard the rusty chirp of the clawed frog. She smelled the burbling pockets of methane. Ooh, ooh. She cloaked and clocked 1,000 other observations in the space of a few seconds. But it was a lack of a certain sensory detail that narrowed her attention. The birds in the canopy were silent. Nala! Where is she? Uh-oh! Eyes up! Dora Milaje, cluster together, back to back. Bloop, shing, and blunt ends of your spears up. Energy and fire electrical discharge now. And key, yeah, oh, that one was caught off guard, and it just took her its trophy. See,
Yep.
you can see the head.
Yeah, I see the head.
Oh, whatever the thing is, there are more of them. Oh, choom, run. T'Challa awoke to darkness and the sound of thunder in the distance. It took him a moment to orient his bruised brain. He didn't know he had been struck by several plasma blasts, several, directed at his skull. But he only knew that he would be dead if not for the panther habit. His memories were solidifying. The cloaked presence in the sky, the dead flock of birds. One of the last things he had done before climbing to the jungle canopy to investigate further was hail the Dora Milaje on the comms. Okay, what in the name of Bast? Sorry? You know what I'm thinking of then, right?
What?
From Rivals.
Oh.
Surrender to Bast!
Tremble before Bast.
Tremble before Bast!
I don't fucking tremble before Bast. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's such a bad ultimate.
I know. Now his eyes. The enemy had a face. No, Nala. The tech in his suit had been compromised, but he didn't need his comms or microphones to hear the scream. Aye! I'm coming. A wire mesh, not only bound to the tree, but it steadily tightened, threatening to cut through flesh and bone. Ah! He didn't recognize the species or technology of this invader, but he knew they could bleed. He knew vibranium was stronger. Where are they? They are nowhere, my king, but they are everywhere. Oh dear.
Oh, jeez, right. Okay.
Yep. Oh, and there, Mashikina. We're all right, but I'm not certain I can say the same for Wakanda. Princess Shuri, what has happened? Someone on the comms cried out for help. Tung tung. Then everything went quiet, and we were locked out of the perimeter shield. I'm not surprised that ship could handle crashing like that. Shuri was driving it. Of course, it would be tougher than you think.
I mean, it's probably made out of vibranium itself.
Yeah. I'm attempting to access the coding, but it's been overridden by something I don't even recognize. Her attempt to hack into the system coding did not go unnoticed. A scout was set to investigate the attempted perimeter breach. Perhaps I can help us understand what is happening. All water is connected to the other water. It shares its stories with me. Shuri, what? What is it you see, Mashikina? I see the deaths of Wakanda. Shuri had worried about the ruin that existed outside of Wakanda, but the kingdom was collapsing from the inside. Something has come for us, a horror I don't recognize. Uh-oh. Oh, I'll get us back in. I have to. Uh-oh. I do love how they keep leaving us wondering, like, what the?
Yeah, they keep going back and forth between the two stories.
Very well. Like, they end at the right moments.
Right.
The jungle seemed suddenly to move. It was as if T'Challa was staring into a reflection of wind-blurred water. He recognized what he had suspected before when he sensed a presence moving through the sky. They were facing an enemy outfitted with cloaking technology, and he aimed to disable it. He had always thought he would have to protect Wakanda from the United States, Russia, China, a world power. But this threat came from beyond. It was a relief to see that this creature, though outfitted with technology that might surpass even Wakanda's, was still subject to the laws of tooth and claw. Now you are prey. Uh-oh! T'Challa would have preferred to imprison and interrogate this hunter, this warrior, this thing. But the old crocodile might not serve his and survive his mercy. And the Black Panther was sworn to protect all of Wakanda. So he killed it while it was distracted by the croc.
Good idea. That croc
Was not going to.
No, the croc, it could have gone either way. I mean, depending on. I mean, we've seen bears take predators on.
But as he said, it was an old croc, so probably not.
Actually, if you, whether or not you know this or not, crocs can live for well over 100 years and still be lethal.
True.
The Nile crocodile, what's his name? Gus? No.
I think I know of. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it's supposedly over 100 years old, and is a man eater. Has eaten hundreds of people.
Right. My king, when they attacked, we forgot our training. Everyone scattered. There is no time for regret. We must gather again. Those of us still alive. The Yoshta listened and he watched. The Black Panther had quickly disposed of one of his clan warriors. So this is the younger brother here.
Okay.
Yep. He chose to go after T'Challa. Oh, look.
Oh, he's killed a bunch of them.
Yeah. You can see the blood dripping there too. The Black Panther had quickly disposed of one of his clan's warriors, and he had survived 3 plasma blasts to the head. He was more than a worthy prey. His vibranium weave was a trophy beyond imagining. A vibranium spear, the weapon his brother had defeated him with, had started us all. Now he had won. And he took the spear from one of the warriors, and it barely seemed a prize compared to the arsenal that awaited him. When a hail came through requesting his immediate presence, roar, roar, he abandoned his quarry for another. I
don't know why he just didn't collect the spears and take off. He could have just made himself a suit of armor out of that and come back.
He's greedy.
I would have taken the fucking spears and taken off, made a suit, repurposed them into a suit of armor, and then come back and then take him down.
Unfortunately,
he probably would have won.
That's true, but it's clearly this brother, while more cunning than the older brother, is supposedly short-sighted.
Clearly.
He was of 2 warring minds, excited by the novelty of the hunt while trying to focus on the reason his clan had come here. Vibranium, god metal, the belly of the mountain was full of it. Greed took hold of him then. He imagined armor, weapons, and warships. He imagined a throne. He imagined his father and brother shamed and bloodied. The patient reclamation of his honor was before him. The brief, violent pleasure of hunting could wait. Okay, this makes a little more than, yes, the greed is taking over him.
Right.
Now here's the question. Would revealing this hull of god metal to the Predators be able to make up for anything he's done, or would they still execute him or whatever for it? Like if he presented it to the Prime World, the Prime World and all that.
If he presented it to them?
Yeah. Because clearly that would mean that he cared about the rest of his people.
Yeah. The problem with that is I don't think he would do that.
No.
He's not. He would never present it. He would take it, utilize it himself, and then take over his own planet.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's planning on doing to his father and brother, at least.
Yeah. So would they let him live? I don't think they would want to, but I don't think they would have a choice considering how much more powerful he would be with the vibranium.
Exactly. So it'll be a case of stalemate.
Pretty much.
Which, when you think about vibranium, that's the perfect equalizer among the Yautja, if you really think about it.
Yeah, it's like two people having a Glock.
Yep. Oh boy, losing John Cassaday. That was a blow.
Well,
Oh. I mean, look, he did astonishing X-Men and all that.
Yeah. I mean, we're not getting any younger, dude.
I know. That's what's power. The Yautja imagined he could feel the energy of the vibranium pulsing down his arm, sleeving his bones, armoring his skin. He imagined his body as the center of an arsenal that bristled with weapons and traveled in warships. He imagined sitting on a throne of vibranium as his brother's skull decorated his trophy wall. He and his hunting party. Ooh! They got a lion would take everything they could from this place, from the precious metal that hid below to the prize trophies that wandered above. Roar! Duck! Yep. And these hunters were hunted in turn. Okie knew these jungles and mountains and savannas as she knew her own body. She would fight and purge these invaders from it as if they were a cancer. 3 of them were dead by her spear so far. Crack! Oh! Okay, Black Panther, I worried you were lost. You were right to worry. Each of us has almost died a dozen times over. We must hurry, my king. Brennanzana must be under siege. We will hurry, Akali, yes, but let us be wise about where our legs carry us. These predators caught us unguarded before, but now we know the face of our enemy.
This is one thing I've always appreciated about T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Is
level-headed.
that he's level-headed. He is super level-headed. I've always appreciated that about him.
It takes a lot to piss him off.
It does. I mean, when I was first introduced to him in the MCU, he was kind of headstrong at first, but near the end, when he spared Zemo, he showed his more level-headedness and that he grew over the course of the film.
Exactly.
And that has carried over into many of the comics and cartoons that I've watched.
To be fair, that's kind of what he was ever since Priest utilized him.
But I've always appreciated that about him.
Yeah.
More so than any other fucking hero in the Avengers. He is by far and away the wisest.
And Chadwick Boseman really epitomized that. That's the reason why when his death was announced, I actually got a little emotional. Even though I barely see any movies he was in, just something about him as T'Challa really hit me hard.
It was perfect.
It was.
I can see why they didn't want to recast him, but according to his brother, they should have recast him.
Everyone agrees they should have. When the whole family says they should have.
I think Disney was worried about a certain sect of people.
But even a lot of those sects were later eventually said recast him.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking. I mean,
they assumed they knew better. They assumed they knew better.
Yeah, but either way,
nothing was wrong with Wakanda Forever. Though. I will say that I enjoyed that, but they did write themselves into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm positive they're going to replace them with another a variant,
alternate universe variant.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of why they hit the variant so hard.
Yeah.
But getting back to the comic, as of all the Avengers, I appreciate Black Panther probably most of all, just for the fact of how fucking wise he is,
and yet he never seeks leadership of the Avengers, mostly because he has enough on his plate as it is. But he would be a perfect leader.
Yeah, he would be a perfect leader of the Avengers.
He did lead the Fantastic Four after Civil War.
He's just a really good character all around.
What have we learned? They are hunters, but there are many places to hunt on Earth. So why come to Wakanda? What else might they collect? It is as we always feared. They want vibranium. We must go to the Great Mound. Oh dear. And Shuri, what is happening? We're locked out of the perimeter shield, but this thing isn't. It's been pulled back, drag it out. I'm trying. Uh-oh. Oh, Majikita, no! All water is connected to other water, Shuri. And just as all blood is connected to other blood. Get back! I will see you again. Go!
I am liking how gory this is.
And yet they still censor it just the right way.
I'm surprised that they're. I mean, Disney has really surprised me these last few years on how far they're willing to push their, because they were so like the squeaky clean, kid-friendly thing, and ever since they adopted Fox and Star Wars,
because they knew they had to.
I'm surprised that they are taking things this far, that they are able to make things this brutal.
I mean, you could have said Prey, you could have argued was still under Fox, but Deadpool Wolverine was the time I think they clinched it.
Actually, I think where they clinched it was in Romulus.
That's true. Was Romulus fully under Disney, or was that still a lingering thing from Fox?
No, that was under Disney.
Okay, then you're right.
The last one under Fox was Covenant.
Right. Damn.
In fact, I heard Ridley Scott's actually coming back to finish the trilogy for the David.
Well,
trilogy.
given how Romulus didn't override it,
it's just rumors so far. So it's just rumors so far. So,
but to be fair, though, they do need to deal with that lingering plot thread. They have to.
I know David's kind of. As much as I don't care for it, it is kind of like, are we gonna have answers, yay or nay? Because Covenant didn't answer jack shit.
But chances are, though, I don't think they're gonna give him as much creative freedom.
I hope so. Ridley Scott can get up his own ass too much.
Yep. You fight. That was one thing Ingrid and I both agreed on. We didn't mind David in Prometheus, but Covenant tainted it all. It completely tainted it all because she and I both agree. This is a creator's pet.
I think Ridley Scott is an uber talented director and writer. Problem is when he is given way too much fucking free reign.
And when he likes a character too much.
Well, not just that. It's just that he can't help himself.
Mm-hmm.
The man is an atheist and has an absurd fascination with religion. So he always tries to twist faith into something else.
And remember I told you before, you know the reason why the engineers turned from creating humanity to hating them, right? Because they're the ones who created Jesus. And what did humanity do? They killed him.
Right. So that's dumb.
So that basically says that they gave up enjoying humanity after they did that. But anyway, back to this. You fight like a coward. Come out and face me. If you need to hide to kill, that makes you a coward. And I'm not afraid of cowards. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, my friend. Shrink. All blood is connected to other blood. Shuri's comms no longer connected her to Wakanda, but the channels of the outside world were listening. She decided to ask for what her kingdom had never given or requested. Whoever might be listening, this is Princess Shuri of Wakanda. We are under attack, and my nation needs your help. Oh, the artwork on her face doesn't look that great. It's this part right here on the face.
Also, her chest kind of looks kind of manly.
A little. Just the angle, though.
I know it's just the angle, but it looks like it's less breasts, female breasts, and more
man breasts.
And more pecs.
Sometimes, as king, it is better to guard your words and decisions. The more you shared of yourself, the more people felt they could claim and question you. There was a strength in silence, just as there was a strength in a mask. He needed to be silent now because he was afraid, because of what he had learned. When the youngster struck him with their shoulder cannons, he fell into the swamp and the mud swallowed him. When darkness came and he visited the astral plane. Oh, so this is why he was after he, wait a minute. Yeah, this was when he first got shot down. So this was earlier.
Okay.
So this is when he was under the water. T'Challa, grandfather. They called me the Azuri the Wise, but I know that they use other words to describe me as well. Hostile, paranoid, guarded. There was good reason for this. The world was at war, but the threat came from more than Nazi Germany. People look up when they speak of heaven. When they speak of heaven, but hell can come from the same direction. Wakanda has fought these enemies before, grandfather. I am sad to say, yes, they came to hunt, but they stayed for the vibranium. Close to 500 of us died before it was all over. We burned their bodies, and we study their weapons.
Oh shit! Their fucking cloaking technology
was taken from the Youngster.
That's why they're so technologically advanced.
Obviously, this isn't canon, but still.
I know, but it works.
Their cloaking technology helped inspire the perimeter shield, as did their grief. So, in other words, what's happening to the younger brother happens to all Yautja, which I'm not surprised.
Right.
I think any Yautja would be taken by the grief for vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
Most, I would say most, could probably fall for its greed.
Depends. I mean, if they did, they would become bad bloods.
True.
They would immediately go become bad bloods if they were.
Well, and it's quite clear this was the father of the brothers. Clearly, is this predator.
Yeah.
I was called an isolationist, but you can perhaps understand why. I wanted to protect my people, not just from these predators, but from all predators. And I'm saddened to say that task now falls to you, grandson. If I am not certain of anything, it is this. There will be nothing but bones and ashes left of Wakanda if these predators have their way. You must stop them. The Panther must win. Oh, look at those helmets.
Those are pretty cool.
Like, oh, ching, ching. And they caught us unaware before, but now are in surprise as our weapon. Follow me into the dark of the mind. It is haste, it's fear. The king has made a mistake. One of the guards still lived, even though Wakanda's comms were jammed. The Yautja's connections remain. Click, click. They knew that the Black Panther was coming, and they were ready for blood. Oh, they've enhanced themselves!
Yeah, they did.
Shuri had won, but barely. She felt no satisfaction in the victory. Knowing a larger war was underway inside the walls of her own kingdom. What were they? How many of them were there? And from where had they come? She would not stand by idly. Bust! You are as ugly as you smell! She recognized the helmet as more than just armor. It was a computer. Okay, this I can more buy. Shuri, I could buy understanding this more than an autistic kid. Because she's dealt with technology, what kind of technology, which we now know was loosely based off of this.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
And we already know
under
how
normal
much
circumstances. Yeah, if their technology wasn't based off of Predator technology, no, she could not understand this shit.
I mean, she might find parallels, but yeah. If she could
not this quickly though.
True. But faster than the autistic kid is what I'm saying. Because this is Shuri.
Oh, the autistic kid's just magic. I'm sorry. That he was just magic.
Shuri, we already know how smart she is.
Yeah.
If she could interrogate its interface, perhaps she could return to Wakanda and meet the enemy on its own terms. But first, something was coming. What now? Who are you? Falcon. And that doesn't answer my question. Captain America sent me to Africa to shut down a weapons dealer. happened to be working on some recon 100 clicks northwest of here. Picked up an SOS tied to these coordinates from someone calling themselves Princess Shuri. But you sure don't look like a princess. Last one.
All right.
Oh, look at that cover.
That's a really kick-ass cover.
Oh, and holding T'Challa's head. This tunnel leads into the heart of the mines where our enemy is waiting. But we must stop.
Hey, answer me this. Who are the White Panther guys?
Oh, what did he say his name was? He did say a name, but
there was a bunch of them earlier. I was gonna ask earlier, but I got sidetracked by something else.
Hold on, let me double check. Oh, Akilai is a specific individual who, he's actually been killed off recently. Again, this proves this is not canon because he should be dead.
Right.
But yeah, he's a member of their secret police, the Hot Tooth Zaraze.
Is his suit also vibranium?
Yes.
Oh wow! So he's
but nowhere near as complex as T'Challa's.
Does he? And I'm assuming he doesn't have the same strength from the flower. Right?
No, he definitely does not. He is just a normal warrior.
Okay. I mean, vibranium, he's probably not a normal warrior, but he's still like a normal human being.
Right, exactly.
Just peak physicality. That's about all we can expect of him.
Yep. He was a coach-created character, then killed off by John Ridley.
Man, John Ridley just has I don't know what the hell that man's fucking beef is with comic book characters.
I have no idea. I will say though, his recent Action Comics run wasn't that arc wasn't that bad.
I'm just saying, man, that dude he seems to just actively hate comic book characters.
I know. I fear. Okay, Akilai. Do you? Oh wait. This tunnel leads into the heart of the mines where our enemy is waiting. We must stop here. What is it, my king? Move into the maintenance hatch. Okay, Akilai. Do you remember our training session yesterday? How I picked you all off one by one by sticking to the shadows? Sometimes there is strength in numbers. Other times there is weakness. I fear this is one of the latter. We are too exposed in the main tunnel. These predators have so far bested us with surprise. Now we will use the same tactics against them. The mine is piped through with air for ventilation. This is how we'll descend to the main level of the mine. Akilai, you and your war dog take up the rear. But one of the war dogs lingered in the tunnel. Akilai, where he sensed he was being observed. Akilai! What is this? Some sort of drone? I spit in the eye of my enemy. That's the war dog. Yep.
That's one of the drones from Predators, the Falcon.
Yeah. As the war dog rushed forward, he triggered a mine station in the tunnel wall. The laser cut through him as cleanly as a blade through water. Oh, clearly, lasers. Yep. And again, now this one is a normal outfit. Akilai has either that or they're having to be he doesn't have the same outfit. They don't have this vibranium.
It's just for looks.
Yep. Akilai had almost dropped into the air shaft when he heard the war dog calling for him. No!
It's not a vibranium then.
Nope, it's not. It's okay. Go with peace to your ancestors, knowing that I will avenge your death. I will kill them. Wait. Wait. What? What the heck? What happened to his mask? Oh, he probably lowered it down a little bit, so it probably has the same kind of mesh, like.
Oh, so so his is they are vibranium. Wait, then how the fucking laser cut through?
Probably got certain areas that weren't vibranium.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Who knows? I will kill every last one of them. I swear. Nope, don't think so. Fine. So you're a princess. Princess Shuri? Yes. Of a kingdom called Wakanda. Yes. That somehow kept itself hidden from the this proves it then. This is not canon. When you're a Falcon not knowing anything. And this is clearly just like that his name now for Falcon. You know who Falcon is.
Sam Wilson.
Sam. This is clearly Sam. I mean, he's not the other guy.
The Hispanic kid from the new movie?
Yeah, that's not him.
Yeah.
That's how that somehow has kept itself hidden from the world and owes its wealth and power to its vast stores of vibranium, the same metal that's in Cap's shield. Yes. And you're currently being invaded by aliens. Yes. I mean, this would all feel a little out of this world if it wasn't for this giant stinking piece of ugly. You said you needed help? What can I do? If you can shut your American mouth for a minute, that would be appreciated. Whoa, I'm sorry. Am I doing this wrong? When addressing you, do I need to bow down and call you your majesty? That's more my brother's thing. I just need to concentrate without all of your noise. So, shh. What are you doing? Remember the shh part of shh? Their technology hacked ours, so I'm going to hack theirs right back. You said your name was Falcon, right? Does this mean I'm allowed to talk again? Grab hold of me, Falcon. What? Grab hold of me. Be the big spoon now. I can only assume they're monitoring our security channel. If one of them stepped out of the shield, then one of them will step back in. I see that your suit has a magnetic drive. I assume the emitters is capable of GPS jamming? Aye. But what about hard-like configuration of your wings? Can you use them to block infrared tracking? Well, yeah, actually. Good, because we'll need that. We will? We will. Now fly. And go. And it's quiet as mice. Oculi? Oculi! You recognize the body that he slid down the air shaft, even if it's no longer at his head. Oculi's voice called down to him then, but it was a hollow, disembodied, a recording. I will kill every last one of them. I swear. Okay, they know we're here. Gone. I don't think that was okay. I think that was someone else. And the Dormajah vanished and in a red spray. Okay, didn't have time no more. So yeah, it wasn't her because death was coming for her next. Training became instinct. Her body dove. Her hand gripped her spear. She threw without seeing, only sensing. And her aim was true. Down the ventilation shaft came a Oculi's killer, mocking Panther with the dead man's voice. I will kill every last one of them. With the force of a cannon, their bodies collided, shot from the shaft, out into the mine. And Panther flipped their bodies in the air so that the predators struck the stone floor, absorbing the force of their fall. The mine smelled of blood and echoed with metal and screams. More of them, and then more still, came out of the dark. Chink! Just as Okie swung or dodged in one direction. Another threat appeared to the other side of her. The predators were bigger, and the predators outnumbered them. But the Panther had the strength of a nation in its claws. Roar! They're holding their position. Maybe that means they're finished, or maybe that means they're obeying the commands of another. This predator understood was the true fight. Their king. The Yautja removed his helmet and revealed his naked hunger. Get behind me, my king. You are always there for me, Okie, but I sense this must be my fight. Please don't take off your habit. Honor demands it. Lend me your strength by lending me your spear. This one has something to prove, and perhaps so do I, after being bested before. Oh!
That's cool.
Up face to face, skin to skin, they fought. There was more than a kingdom at stake. There was pride. Do you yield? The disgrace the Yautja had felt his entire life came crashing down on him then. He would not allow his father, or any king, to humiliate him. Oh! Oh, the Yautja.
Using the established wrist blades that are inside of his arm.
Yep. Did not run. They repositioned. With the Panther grievously injured, the Yautja ordered soldiers back to their ship. My king, they had the vibranium they came for, and they would return to this battle at a later date, stronger than before. So now they're retreating. Wakanda flourished in isolation. They had neither offered help to the world nor asked for it, but that policy had abruptly changed. They had made enemies, but so had they made allies. Chink! So she took one of the wrist blades. Shuri didn't know whether her brother was alive or dead, but she didn't and know what sort of ruin awaited her below. She only knew that the alien vessel had launched off the Great Mount, which seemed a clear indication of a heist, a vibranium heist. She and the Falcon were the last line of defense. Falcon! I'm sorry, Shuri. I couldn't stop him. We were too late. Actually, we were just in time! Uh-oh! The Yautja could not help himself. In the reckless heat of his escape, he blasted out a message, warning his brother that he was coming home to win back his honor, with God metal, and with blood. Not anymore! Nothing survived the blast but the vibranium, and the greed it originally inspired. The Predator King and his favorite son tracked the message of warning sent their way. What they found claimed their full attention. God metal, they called it. It was enough to develop and advance their arsenal into one that would rival any in the cosmos, including Earth.
Well, this is how they're going to fucking kill the Avengers.
Yep. And this is what leads to Spider-Man.
Well, that was super fucking enjoyable.
But a bit abrupt.
It was a bit abrupt, but I was proven correct in my assessment that this was going to be the opposite of Wolverine, where it started off on the wrong foot, but ended very good.
Yep.
Abrupt as it was, it still ended okay. I don't like this.
That T'Challa lost?
No, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I don't like Shuri using...
Getting the win.
No, not that she got the win. It's how she got the win.
Yeah.
Though the computer that blows up does not have fucking wrist blades on them. There's only one clan in all of Predators that has wrist blades, and that's the Elite clan from the Alien AVP game from 2010.
Right.
They're the only ones who have wrist blades in their computer arm.
So this was clearly a liberty.
That was a liberty. I
mean, you get why, right? Because of this.
Yeah, I understand.
Tack it on. She couldn't just stick it on.
I understand why it was done. It's not something I'm pleased about.
So what did you think about the Predators in this story?
Ultimately, they were fine for what they were. I think making the main Predator a cripple was a little bit much. I think making him a runt would have been fine.
They just added a little bit too far.
Yeah, being a runt he wouldn't have been in danger of, because he was a cripple. If he was a cripple in actual lore, he would have walked like the Spartans do in 300.
Right. But if we go with my theory, I think that's what the father always intended him to just be someone that could give the other brother a challenge, but be disposable.
The problem with that is that having that kind of disabled son being born to him
should be a dishonor. Yeah.
It's a dishonor. It's not something that he would have, how should I say, it's not something that the father would have suffered.
Right, exactly.
He would not suffer a dishonor like that. And you have to understand that a lot of male predators, they'll sire anywhere between 50 and 60 children.
Right. But I gotta say though, and the fact that they call this character a king still kind of bothers me a little.
Yeah, clearly they're having like liberties done here.
I mean, they're not portraying him as the king, thankfully. That's clearly there. They're not. I think they're looking at it because he's ruling over the two clans because they're his sons.
He is. I think how it should be is that he is a clan leader, and his two sons are hunting party leaders,
as opposed to having them be two separate clans, and he rules over them.
Yes.
'Cause that's clearly the big problem here.
Yeah, because how the ranks go is
Mhm.
the you have the juveniles, the babies, the sucklings, and
Mhm.
then you have the young bloods, then you have the
Yep.
blooded,
Yep.
and then you have elite, and then you have the elders, and then after the elders is the ancients. Now, when they become ancients, they start to lose a step,
Mhm.
and they're reaching
Obviously.
about they're pushing about 1,000 years old.
The only exception,
They're
of course, the king, obviously.
Yeah, the king is an outlier.
Exactly.
Now, ancients can also be clan leaders. So the king that we have here on screen is
Mhm.
probably an ancient himself.
Probably.
And then there's also above that is the matriarchs.
Mhm.
Now, little known fact is that matriarchs actually run most of the shit out in the open on Yacha Prime.
Mhm.
The women do, I mean, the female predators.
Right.
And then above them is the king. Now he is the actual shadow ruler of Yacha Prime
Right.
and their entire
Right.
society.
Oh, by the way, I just looked up about the Alien and the Spider-Man one. It's not even to call it a bad blood is not an understatement. It's a mental case, Predator. No
Ooh.
honor, no clan, only a thirst for blood. And you want to see an example of that?
Sure, hit me with your best shot.
Brace yourself, dude. It's pretty gruesome, even by Predator standard. Hold on. There it is.
I apologize for my noisy ass neighbors.
It's fine. It's fine.
Ooh.
And then later, oh yeah, look.
Oh, he went full Joker.
And then later on a subway, so clearly they're taking a lot from Predator 2. Look,
What?
this is a mental case Predator. Oh, and then there's Craven.
That's a bad blood and a half.
This is that's right. To call it a bad blow would be an understatement. This is clearly a Predator with. That's what can I say? I can say he's a mental case.
I mean, this is probably the most gruesome it's been.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. There was a Dark Horse comic that was the first case of a bad blood that was being chased by enforcers. That was pretty. He did gruesome things too.
Well, yeah,
But
this one's actually called Skinner.
Yeah, not to the point where he was wearing faces.
Right. Again,
That's a bit extra.
I think I think Benjamin Percy is treating this one like it's a Predator that is literally insane.
They like the blood.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It says only a thirst for blood. How's this for a teaser of what to expect?
So this one just came out, right?
Yep, first issue, so it's gonna be a while before we can cover it.
Okay, so it's gonna be
3 more months. 3 more months.
Right. Is it a 4-parter too?
Yep, they're all 4-parters. Yep.
And after that, when can we expect Avengers?
Or you mean the first kills the Marvel Universe? Hold on.
Yeah, that one.
That one should be. It actually gave the release August.
August. And
Yep.
is it also a 4-parter?
I would assume so. Yes.
Okay. So we're probably not going to be finished. We're probably not going to get to that one until near the end of the year, if not early next year.
Exactly. And then, like I said, now the Aliens one, which oh boy, I'm loving that one. I am loving that one because it actually ties back into David. And I'll say you're aware of the Council of Reeds.
Yeah.
You get where I'm going with this. Other Davids.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Other Davids from across the multiverse have met each other and have decided to try and do similar things, similar experiments to different universes, including the Avengers universe that's being invaded.
Man, you know what'd be really fucking cool?
What?
Is if they actually add guest characters to Marvel Rivals.
I would love that. Just imagine a Predator being in there.
Predator, Alien, and since Marvel also does Star Wars, they could also put Darth Vader in there.
Dude, I take it back. I think they are meaning to apply that this is the Predator King. You know why?
Why is that?
The summary for Predator Kills the Marvel Universe says the title, it's not, and that title, it's not misdirection. This one's gonna hurt. Your favorite heroes and villains will fall, even as others rise up against this extinction level event. The Predator King is here. The Yaoshar armed with vibranium, and Earth is now a hunting preserve. Okay, but now it only says a Predator King. It then says that earlier. A Predator King.
That's the actual wording that they're using, a Predator King.
Yeah, but then it was Percy who then was quoted saying that other part.
So that man needs to fucking get the terminology correctly. Is he a king or is he a clan leader?
Who can say?
They're more or less the same fucking thing.
I know. I think who knows why they're allowing it.
The Predator King, the real fucking king, is a shadow ruler. He rules from the background. If you're at all familiar with One Piece right now, the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so what do you think about this? Oh, actually, I think that Predator Kills the Marvel Universe is going to be 5 parts.
Oh, that's good.
And it's the grand finale of this whole saga.
But they're going to succeed, though, from the sounds of it.
Yes.
Oh.
I think once they did the Black Panther one, they realized they were locked into this.
I'm kind of happy with that.
Having the Predator. Now, granted, they're only doing it because they have vibranium.
Yeah. I mean, Predators can't take...
the Hulk. They could not take down the Hulk without it.
Yeah, they can't take the Marvel Universe without the fucking vibranium.
But yeah.
I mean, maybe if they had adamantium, which isn't adamantium stronger than vibranium?
It's a type of vibranium, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never been super
they've shifted it around a little bit, but okay, adamantium is considered stronger than vibranium in terms of raw durability, but it doesn't have the properties of absorbing energy and releasing it.
It's just indestructible. It has basically, unlike vibranium has higher offense, adamantium has higher defense.
And that though, but vibranium can be remolded. Adamantium cannot. Once it's been melted, what?
Well, Stryker kind of melted it down and turned it into a skeleton.
Yeah, he created it in its liquid state. Vibranium, its first state, it's always a liquid when it's created. Basically, adamantium. Adamantium is always it's an alloy. It's always been an alloy.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the big difference. Well, yeah, one is a natural thing. The other one is more human created.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well,
but yeah. So overall, though, with all of this, so as a Predator fan, why would you rate this?
It's better than Wolverine.
I had a feeling you would say that.
It's better than Wolverine. It's not as one-sided as Wolverine was.
Right. This is probably why they gave the Predator, the brother, the win, even though he was going to die.
Right.
Let's be honest. They were going to die if they didn't retreat. Let's be honest. Even if T'Challa won, knowing this clan, they would have gone for revenge.
It is a hot 8 out of 10 with some how should I say,
stipulations?
There are some things there that I was not a fan of. First and foremost, the crippled brother. That's probably the worst offense that they've done.
Right.
Second is, and I know it's kind of weird to harp on this, it's the fact that the arm blade was in the
Yeah.
wrist computer. I'm not joking when I tell you that only one clan fucking does that, and it is the
I believe
fucking.
you. I believe you.
And it's not that they don't do it, it's just that only one clan does it, and it's the fucking elite clan.
Right. But again, but overall, it's clear Percy is building to something after this one.
It's clear that he is also taking some very loose liberties with the lore.
But like I said,
I
at least it's still nowhere near the Predator level of atrocity.
speak of that again, and I will haunt your dreams.
We've already brought it up how many times already?
I have spoken.
But you were saying,
Yeah, it's taken some liberties. A Predator fan like myself is gonna have to fucking
accept some of them.
you're gonna have to accept some things. If you're a Predator fan, if you know the lore, if you've read the Dark Horse comics, if you read even the Marvel comics, you're gonna have to just
I'm positive there was probably been some Dark Horse comics that kind of skewed the lore a little. They couldn't have all been perfect.
fuck no, they weren't perfect. There was fuck no.
Exactly.
No, but there was still there was still like an underlying thing that you could follow. I mean,
True.
there was always
They kept things consistent at Dark Horse, is what you're saying?
they kept things consistent. They kept things with the honor system, and they really hammered down, especially with the story of Tachande,
Mm-hmm.
Broken Tusk, and
Yep.
Mariko, the first human predator.
Mm-hmm.
How she became the first human predator and how she met Tachande was because his clan, like he was the leader of his clan, and there was a coup. A young predator wanted to take it down, kill all of Mariko's colony, and Tachande just wasn't fucking having that. He killed that predator because it dishonored his clan and was a bad blood, and took control back from him.
Right.
And in doing so, saw that Mariko was holding her own against aliens. And so like, oh, you're fucking badass, and took her in and trained her.
Oh, so it's a case of he raised her. Oh my god, you know what this reminds me of? This is my own original character. I have my character of Viscera, and he dealt with a whole race of very powerful beings, but still won. At the very end, though, so he knew how strong they were. And at the very end, all of them were wiped out, but one newborn, who was literally born within the final hours. So what did he do? Took her in and raised her, but kept her secret from the others. And sure enough, she was treated becoming no different than most Garurian warriors.
Not similar. The thing is, Mariko was she was an adult when she was taken in by the predators,
right?
But she was trained and even lived among them and hunted with them for about a year,
right,
before leaving to go off on her own to rejoin humanity,
right?
But
and I see she's appeared on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was never really the only one who really liked her was Tachande. But she was never really accepted among them. They respected her because Tachande was
I bet you if anything happened to him, she would be out of luck.
Pretty much. I mean, Tachande's dead.
Oh, yes? Ooh. All right.
Yeah, he is one of the better predators out there. I would probably say one of the best ones that I've read in recent years. It's hard to get a hold of any physical copies of this, but if you ever read the Prometheus Fire and Stone comics, which encompasses Prometheus.
I've seen those. I know about those.
Yeah, read all. Yeah, there's.
Isn't that the one that indicated that the noodling or whatever that was created at the end of Prometheus actually continued on existing?
I actually haven't finished reading it. That's the problem. I have not been able to find any physical copies of it anywhere, and I don't like pirating anything.
I understand.
And
I understand, but
there's the predator in the main predator in the story. His name is Ahab, or at least he's called Ahab, and he is fucking awesome. He is probably my second favorite predator behind, Greyback from Predator 2.
who doesn't like Greyback?
Greyback is the coolest fucking predator ever made.
Agreed. I'm still positive. I'm still convinced that was him at the end of the first Batman Predator one because it looks so much like him.
That would be cool. Greyback, also known as the Golden Angel, is just a phenomenal character.
Mm-hmm.
As for as little as we got of him, what we did get of him is basically set the gold standard for Predator lore going forward.
Right.
Followed by T'Chande. T'Chande was the other gold standard.
Right. Hold on. I'm looking up. The Deacon was the name of that alien.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yep, Fire and Stone. The original plans for Fire and Stone was going to showcase the Deacon, with the story mainly focusing on them as the primary alien adversary. 20th Century Fox put the kibosh on that. The Deacons did appear in the original version of the front cover for the Alien versus Predator one, and they did eventually make some appearance later on, though. I do know that. Or it was implied as much because it became like a giant mountain.
So as I understand about the Fire and Stone quadrilogy, it is separated into Prometheus, AVP, Predator, and Alien.
Yep.
And there are 4 separate stories. I cannot recommend the Predator one enough. That one is so fucking good.
So I've heard.
Let's just say that the Predator Ahab, they don't call him that for nothing, and he goes after a white fucking whale.
Yep. But yeah, the fact that they found a way to intersect all of these together.
I know it's a great story. I want to finish it so fucking bad, but it is so expensive in the aftermarket.
Hold on, let me check something. I'm just curious on something. There apparently is a trade for that combines all of them.
Yeah, there's a hardcover copy of it, and it goes for stupid amounts of money on the aftermarket. Since this was a story that came out in 2015, I believe.
Right. Ooh, no kidding. I see 609 for one of them.
Yeah, probably not even the best condition either. I hope to God that.
Oh wait, I found one for 169.88 on Amazon.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, if you look on Amazon right now, that's where it is.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, for anyone interested, if anyone has the means to, I'm not gonna say go sail the high seas. I can't say that. But
I will go do it.
If you ever have the option, read Predator Fire and Stone. Read the others too if you have the chance to, but the Predator one is such a good story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Ahab
Ahab go after an engineer. Did he go after an engineer?
That's his white whale.
Yep, that's what I thought.
And the engineer, let's just say that the fight between him and Ahab, it's not clear cut. That engineer beats the fuck out of him.
From the looks of a cover, I believe it. And then, of course, it ends with Prometheus, Firestone, Omega.
Yeah. And also, there's another fight between Ahab and another Predator clan. So that's actually pretty sweet, too. There's an appearance of a Predator that only makes one appearance, but NECA ended up making an action figure of it that I want to get later on, called the Horn Predator.
Now, there was a sequel called Life and Death.
Yes, there is a sequel. That one I have not read whatsoever, and I want to read that more than anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
that
was the one I saw as a collection that was over $600.
Okay, that makes sense. Fire and Stone was the more popular one. I'm close to just like saying if I can get like a digital copy somewhere, I will.
Oh, I just found a cheaper for a copy of. Oh wait, that's just AVP. Never mind.
Yeah, they did get trade paperbacks of the 4 separate stories.
Mm-hmm. I'm
They
just
weren't
trying.
hardcover.
Yep.
The collection of all 4 is a hardcover.
Right. That one on here is what the heck?
Did you see the 2,999 one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all that
doing that. Whoever is doing that is an idiot. Oh God,
I know.
I get this. Buy used for that amount, and then $3.99 shipping and delivery. I'm sorry, that is priceless. That is priceless.
Yeah. Now you see what I meant about the aftermarket for these fucking comics. It's fucking stupid, right?
Yeah. No. Well, I found but I did find one that says 609. That's still stupid, but
I mean,
Lord.
A hardcover for that should not go any further than $50. Collecting 4 stories like that, 4 trade paperbacks into a hardcover, that should not be higher than $50.
I will tell you this, dude. I do have Motor City Comic Con coming out. I'm gonna look for some of these and send them your way. I am gonna look for them for you.
I would appreciate that. I'll reimburse you for that shit too. Yep,
really I will look for those and get a hold of them for you.
If you get any amount of physical copies of those fucking comics, I would be so fucking happy.
But go for Fire and Stone, but you won't mind Life and Death either, right?
I won't mind Life and Death. No, I'll take it. But
yeah.
Fire and Stone is such a fucking good comic.
Right.
Specifically the Predator one. I would sell my soul to Satan for that one.
Okay, but anyway, back to this for now. So overall, though, I do say this though, the Shuri stuff felt kind of haphazard compared to the T'Challa one.
The Shuri stuff, I'm gonna say this, and no hate. This isn't a race thing. This isn't a woman thing. But Shuri's part in the story was forced.
It was. It's so now, at least by the time Falcon showed up.
Yep, because by the time we didn't get to see her fight with the Predator. That Predator was dead. Like she started fighting it, and then the next scene it was dead. And I'm like,
oh come on! And then they claim, oh, she barely survived, but then she's moving fine.
Barely surviving means that she's fucked up beyond all. She's FUBAR.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's like, don't buy it.
Yeah, she doesn't have a scratch on her. It's so stupid.
It's just a little blooding on the top, but then that was gone by the next page. And I did not like her attitude to Sam. I did not like that. You know, the whole shh.
Well, the thing about Shuri is that she's always been kind of a sass.
True. Also, that whole bit of her claiming I'm smarter and stronger. I'm like, oh, bullshit.
Yeah, I was like thinking, you're not.
Is that the explanation of why she survived?
Technologically smarter than T'Challa, I believe.
Yeah.
Stronger than T'Challa, I don't believe, especially since he's also fucking enhanced by the flower.
Yeah, exactly. And she doesn't have it. This is not a Shuri who's been Black Panther like in the comics.
And Shuri may be trained, but she's not Okio trained.
Yeah, Okio, yeah. Which Okio was the best part. She was the best part.
Okio was fucking cool, dude. She's always the best part of Black Panther stories, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think we can all agree, though, the best moment I could definitely tell for you was this moment. Am I wrong? Am I right? That was the best moment for you.
When you can give me fucking eye scenes, like eye scenes.
And yeah, it's literally right in the eyes. We see in the bottom panel.
Yes, I love it. I mean, it could use more blood there, but hey, I'm not complaining. It's in his fucking eye.
Yep, and then she takes it. I did like that part, like choink. But I gotta say though, if there's one problem I do have with it, it's the mindset of the younger brother. Like it feels so convenient just for the sake. I felt like more though than the Wolverine one. It felt like all the decisions made here were purely for the sake of the story. This was purely, as Pika has put himself. move
It's
the
clear that
character.
this is set up for kill the Marvel Universe.
But yeah, it's Pika has put it best. This is a case of the story is moving the character as opposed to the characters moving the story.
Yes.
Because all of its decisions make, like you said, he could get up the spears and leave and come back. But no, he decided, I'm going to find the bulk of it and then leave.
The spears were enough. I'm going to be completely honest. If he could take this, if he could collect as many spears as he could, and there was enough of the, what do they call them again? The warrior ladies?
Oh, they said it, jeez. Hold on. It was a different issue. It was,
I can't remember their fucking name for the life.
I know. The Donna something. The Dora Milaje. The Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. Yeah, all he had to do was take out the Dora Milaje, not Okio, because you can't take her out because
No.
badass.
Mm-hmm.
If you could take out the Dora Milaje and what were they, the hounds, the dogs or whatever, war dogs?
Yeah, the war dogs.
The war dogs apparently had some vibranium armor on.
Yeah.
All they had to do was take them out and take the spears and the armor and then leave. And then he could come back later.
Leave the ones that were in the city, but tell them to stay undercover.
Right. He didn't have to, I mean.
And also, we don't even know what, oh my God, I just realized, we don't know what happened inside of Wakanda.
Oh, that's right.
We don't know what happened. They just, Shuri even says, like, she doesn't know. And we never found out.
That's true, we didn't.
I'm going to bet they were devastated. You want to bet that people were just hunted down needlessly?
Maybe. It depends on what kind of predators. I mean, the brother, this guy, the main predator, the brother, he's clearly a bad blood, even if he doesn't think he is.
Yeah. But,
so maybe his clan are the same. They're also bad bloods. I don't know.
Again, oh God, I just realized. Ugh.
Yeah.
Parody advertisement. But yeah, we never found out what happened in there. Or was it just the one? Was it just the one that went inside? And wait a minute. They didn't even take out the one that was inside.
Unless that was the one that attacked Shuri and killed and eye socketed the old man.
Wait. Yep. I think. Yep. No, wait. He's telling someone to go do it.
Okay, so he's still inside the city then, unless he went to go help his clan leader out.
What did they ever? Oh my God! There's more holes in this.
Oh God.
He didn't resolve it.
Okay, Robert.
Dock a few points.
6.5.
He didn't resolve it.
6.5. I think Wolverine is sitting prettier at a 7 right now.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, that's bad.
I mean, I enjoyed this for what it was, but
oh my God, yeah, realizing it, because that just dawned on me, like, wait, we didn't get that resolved at all. And even if it was the case of he went out there on his own, well, the artwork does not portray that.
Well, let's look at it this way. This story is clearly the setup and prequel to Predator Kills the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
So that's
so we'll probably find out what happened to Wakanda there.
And I pray to God they don't fucking Deus Ex Machina the Marvel Universe to win. Please don't do that.
It's clear this is an alternate universe, and those are always fair game. I mean, look what they've done with Alien versus Avengers. It's a dark future already.
What did they do with that one? I didn't read that one. Aliens won?
Oh, they've already won by the start, dude. They've already won, but basically, this is a xenomorph equivalent of Days of Future Past.
Oh, okay. So they go back in time and fix everything?
So far, we don't know. They've had to leave the Earth.
Oh.
Yep. Hold on 1 second.
Is that story still going on?
One more issue left. But Let me just put it this way. It's been so long that Valeria, the youngest daughter of the Fantastic Four, has become a middle-aged woman. That's how long it's been.
Oh, wow.
And she got chest bursted by the end of the issue.
Oh, no.
Yep. We open up with T'Challa and all that, but yeah, let's just say Earth has been slaughtered. Even Apocalypse.
Oh, shit. Apocalypse got fucked up.
Yep. And look, that's Carol and Tony. That's how long it's been. Yep. Oh, but you want to see it? But yeah, unfortunately, Valeria, she was trying to sneak in there, get an egg. She slipped up and tripped and got face hugged. And she was trying to get stuff done before it was finished, but nope. But then get this. Miles gets face hugged, but turns out he has a symbiote on him, and it takes over the face hugger.
Interesting.
And look, it becomes the new spider symbol.
That's interesting. So how the fuck are they gonna?
Oh, okay, they leave. They abandon.
So how the?
Oh, but look at this. Look familiar? Another universe, another time. From Covenant.
David.
But then more Davids.
Oh my god.
And then this is what led to them going to the other universes across the multiverse. But they actually beat out on Tony, but Tony beats out on him. Even as an old man, Tony was able to stop him. But unfortunately, they couldn't reverse what they did.
I just want a dark fucking future. All I want is for them to all die. Is that too much to ask?
And that's what they were getting. Dude, that's what you're getting. And look, old Cap. In fact, they're evacuating. They're escaping. And get this. Hulk jumps down to help Cap. But then get this. Turns out so many people who survive. Let me ask you this. Who do you think is the equivalent to David in this world?
Vision? Ultron?
Mr. Sinister.
Oh.
And what does he do? He ends up capturing them all. And then most of the humans that escaped with Tony and Carol are slaughtered.
Oh my god.
So in other words, look, there's Emma.
Beautiful and badass as always.
And of course, she can handle these xenomorphs. She's made of diamond.
Yeah, I can't fuck with her.
Yeah, they're not even their the acid could get through them. Oh, and poor Tony got killed.
And face hugged, apparently.
Yep, but Wakanda's shown up for the final chapter. But yeah, like I said, Marvel is not pulling any punches with these books.
Disney and Marvel, man, they've surprised me.
Yeah.
Recent years, they have embraced the dark and gritty shit, and I'm fucking here for it.
I'll say this: the Wolverine one played it safe.
Wolverine one played it safe.
Panther, Panther's the one where they decided to be a little
fucking liberties.
But when you look at it, Wolverine could have still fit in the continuity. They went out of their way to make it seem like it could fit.
Yeah, but this one they kind of just went out of their way to say, "Fuck it, we're doing our own thing."
Same with Spidey. So, and now they decided to end with a kill. I think they also realized, come on, let's give it the Predator and the Punisher kills the Marvel Universe treatment. They've done it with Punisher. They've done it with Deadpool. Now it's the Predators.
The thing is, let us have our fun. Let us Predator fans have our fun.
And I gotta say, having this up with the aliens one, that's the only way it could go, really. I can't, otherwise it'll just be too short of a story.
I would really love for there to be an AVP versus the Marvel Universe. The Marvel Multiverse.
Ooh.
No, AVP into the Multiverse.
Ooh.
That would be so fucking cool.
But I gotta say,
and then let them get their asses kicked.
Now I will say this: This is probably the one advantage this has over the DC ones. The DC ones were like the Wolverine one. Played it safe. Really good, but played it safe.
Yeah. I will admit that I still had a lot more fun with the DC ones, though.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I think the quality was significantly better. I'm gonna hold final judgment on the entirety of the story. We're gonna come back and grade the whole thing once it's all said and done with the kills the universe.
Yeah, once that's done, because by that point the Alien Avengers one will be done and all that. Well, that's gonna be done soon. So yeah, we have the Spider-Man and the AVA, the PVS and PK and TMU.
Yeah, so
That's a mouthful.
Right. We'll come back. We'll come back to this when Spider-Man's finished, and then also when the Predator kills the Marvel Universe. And I'd like to see where that AVP or the Alien one is going.
Yep, like I said, I want to get you and Ingrid on for that one because I said she had some interesting thoughts on David. The moment David was involved, I knew I'd include both of you. I knew I had to.
All right, I'm into it. I'll remind me before we get into that one. I'm gonna have to watch Prometheus and Covenant and come back to it.
Yep.
I haven't watched either of them in a while, so I gotta get.
I will do that. But yeah, so thank you for joining me in this one, Raymond. Thanks everyone else, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Good hunting.
Good hunting.